Hi, I'm Cecilia Lemming, and I have summarized Chapter 9 from Radical Behaviorism for ABA Practitioner, and Chapter 9 is titled A Social Life. In the vignette, Jordan, an ABA practitioner, was assigned to work with a 13-year-old boy named Bobby, who has a mild intellectual disability. Bobby displays noncompliance when given a request, and he also has a history of aggressive and destructive behaviors. When Jordan went to observe Bobby in his home, he realizes that Bobby's siblings also engage in aggressive behaviors. Bobby's parents share that they use corporal punishment on a frequent basis in order to correct misbehavior. And so what Jordan has to do is determine how can he change this aggressive family culture. And this chapter is all about culture. So we have lots of different kinds of cultures. Section 1, culture. Culture-free contingencies. These are behaviors that are not based on any social influence. So we have biology. For example, we are subject to the rules of gravity and so on. Our senses. We can't see very well in the dark, therefore we don't do a whole lot of activity in the dark. And our musculoskeletal system relates to our bodies, and let's say we can only walk so fast or run so fast, so we get on a horse and we ride, or we use a different mode of transportation. That's one type of contingency. And then there's also the influence of culture. So Baum was quoted in Johnston's book on page 165, and Baum says that the definition for culture is that it's learned behavior shared by a group's members, acquired from their membership in the group, and transmitted from one man to another. And so there's different things that affect the culture. We can also think of culture as everything that affects us, that involves other people. Also, we have a verbal repertoire, and that has been influenced by our culture, but it also helps us to participate in cultural practices. Customs, manners, values. These are things that we learn. We change our behavior from group to group and make sure that it's appropriate for the setting. Natural selection, the third section. So Skinner was quoted in the book, and I'm going to read the quote on page 166. He's talking about 3 ways natural selection relates to our behavior. So he says, this is Skinner, quote, human behavior is the joint product of, number 1, the contingencies of survival responsible for natural selection of the species. Number 2, the contingencies of reinforcement responsible for the repertoires acquired by its members, including, number 3, the special contingencies maintained by an evolved social environment. So I kind of tried to break that down into survival, reinforcement, and selection. Then we go on and we talk about the selection of cultural practices. We have variation in our cultural practices. And so those would be the activities or the practices that serve a function within the group. So it's a variety of activities. It's a variety of practices. Number 2, replication. Replication is also called transmission over time, and we do this across generations. And so this is given through direct instruction by families and now by schools. Also, imitation and modeling create replication. This is the learning process here. And then selection. Variations of a cultural practice have to be selected by that cultural group in order to be strengthened. So that's kind of where the reinforcement comes from. It comes from both natural and social contingencies. We talk about proximate and ultimate reinforcers, which have to do with natural and social contingencies. The proximate would be your social contingencies, the social aspect, and then the ultimate reinforcers would be your natural ones, which would relate to your health and your reproductive system. Number 3, where can this all lead, all this knowledge about culture? Well, is there a role for behavior science when we're looking at culture? Yes. And the reason is we need to understand that cultural practices are always changing. So we can use behavior science to evaluate the cultural practices. Why are they there? Where do they come from? And we can predict which ones are going to stick, maybe which ones are going to come up. And then also we can use behavior science to understand these cultural practices, and it's going to help us understand the individual behavior better if we can understand that cultural group. And it can guide us when we're looking at how the cultural group and the practices are affecting the individual. We also think about rights and values, which we know is very mentalistic, but many people look at cultural practices as their rights and their values. It's my right to, have a drink or whatever it might be. And when we're changing or wanting to change cultural practices, we have to look at the present practices that are in place and what are the proposed practices. And when we're talking about cultural practices, you want most people to be of the same mindset. So 3 different things that the book talked about. It talked about prohibition and said, gosh, that was a really big mistake. The government just said, nope, no more alcohol, and there was a huge counterculture that came, and I think 10 years later, they, retracted that. But we're going to talk about counterculture at the end, but that's an example of really misreading what the people wanted. Smoking and the cultural practices around smoking has changed a lot in the last 40 years. It used to be they would have advertisements of Santa Claus giving out cigarettes for Christmas presents, and now, of course, that would be horrific. So that has changed tremendously. And then we also talk about obesity and the present practice. That's a really big problem for our culture at the moment, and they were talking about how could we enact change with this culture related to obesity. Cultural engineering. Culture cannot be shown on a map. If you're French, not in the French culture. If you're German, you're not in the German culture. It's greater than that. We belong to many different cultural groups, religious, linguistic. Our home cultural group is different than our work. Our work cultural group is different than our recreational cultural group. And if we want to engineer change, there was a big section in the book that talked about this. Let's say that you want to engineer change within your workplace, and you want to change your workplace's existing cultural practices. And it talks about all the challenges that would occur. Everybody would have to be on board. People would have to have people's behavior going to maybe, let's say, an extra meeting. The behavior would have to be reinforced. And then how could we get that behavior to continue? There were several boxes in this section, in this chapter. The first box was on phylogeny and ontogeny, and we have actually learned about both of those. We know that phylogeny is the evolutionary history, and it has to do more with innate behavior. And ontogeny is the history of individual organisms during their lifetime and how they change. So Johnston on page 167 said that. Behavioral changes throughout our life is what we call learning, and that relates to ontogeny. Now, the second box was titled The Culture Doesn't Behave. We have to realize that the culture is a group. Groups don't behave, individuals behave. The next box was Who is in Control? And it talked about counterculture, which we talked about when we talked about prohibition briefly. And this is a quote from Skinner. He says, in counterculture, the actions of one party that specifically counter or at least react to the control exerted by another party. And that was on page 173 in the book. And then the last box was survival value of cultural practices. That means how much do these practices contribute to the survival of the culture? And that's going to relate to how accepted they are and how long they'll continue on. So my question to you is, why are some cultural practices selected and strengthened and others are not? So I look forward to your answers to the question. You can see the reference from the Johnston book, Radical Behaviorism for ABA Practitioners. Have a great night. Thanks.